Hello there, and welcome back to War Thunder. So a replay was sent in by STEVEinc, and he is in the good old T-44, not the T-44 100, the good old T-44 with an 85mm gun. And he will show us today what kind of dumb luck and hilarious Russian bias you can have, but with a good smile on our faces. Today's patch day, so you have again a lot of faith, you wanna download the game, have some fun, and then get remembered what a miserable life it is as a gamer playing this goddamn game. But once in a while, you have those magic games that you will teach your grandchildren every single second, and you tell them about every single decision that you made. And this might be one of those games for STEVEinc. Although, he begins with a transmission shot on a T-92. The funny thing is, that shot was a crew knockout, whereas the first one could have been also a hull break. But anyway, so yeah, today is patch day. Today is the day where you might have a few minutes to watch this video, and the video, as you can see, took 17 minutes, but there was some parts where I just cut them out. Now, he is kind of in a around the corner standoff with a Hellcat, and that Hellcat is aware of him. One of those things about the T-44 is the incredibly bouncy turret, and the Hellcat demonstrates this in a very good fashion. So that's his second kill, and you can see that he has a very odd ammunition loadout, and that is mostly APCR, the BR365P with 195mm of penetration, and then his first standard round is the good old BR367 APCBC round with 164mm of penetration, which, for a 6.3 tank, that is in a slight up tier, as here STEVEinc is. It doesn't really sound too impressive, but if you're in a Russian tank, that changes things considerably. So anyway, he just cleared the north of the map, and the rest of his team is just drooling around. He just gets himself an FE4 to an FE405, and then he also spots a Japanese M4A3. First shot is disabling, and then he tries to follow it up, but he actually gets his first assist. And he is not really camping, he's not really standing still, he's constantly moving. He always tries to bring the fight to the enemy, and in the usual sniper spots there is none to catch him off guard, to get his sight, etc. So that is also a little bit lucky, and so then he runs face first into the enemy team, and he spots himself a Hellcat around about now, and first shot gets the engine of the Hellcat, which was not a hull break, and then he tries to mark him with the machine gun. He could have killed the commander there, but the Hellcat also didn't return fire, and so he got his first ace. And a second Hellcat, yeah, he gets him on the move, like those magic Russian suspensions. They are just great sometimes, especially on Abandoned Factory, which is a map that the Russian tankers really seem to like, because, it's flat. The lack of gun depression doesn't matter. And so here he goes, and he just goes right through the middle, and he is one of the only tanks that is not in the north or at the spawn. He gets an easy side shot at another M4A2, and then he decides, what, let's push a bit further, let's push a bit more aggressive. Now he thinks about dipping his toe into the enemy's cap, but he decides to ram a fuel tank instead, because why not? Seems like he's on fire. He just looks around, and then he sees a Super Pershing, and he tries to shoot him, but he's behind the concrete barrels. Yeah, so that's not gonna work. And then it goes straight for the enemy spawn. But don't worry, this is now not a video where he does spawn camping for the rest of the game. Oh no. In fact, he turns his attention to the south, where the Super Pershing was last spotted, and I think he heard here a engine sound. But then he gets shot in the back, and the shell does nothing. But he kills the M36 Slugger with ease with one shot. And then he has kind of one of those moments again. The Super Pershing, a really tough tank for such a gun. He comes around and he snaps him through the turret side front and one-shots the Super Pershing. Like he does it every day. Just like that. As I said, magic Soviet suspension. Then he also, his spider senses were tingling a little bit, and with third person view he spots himself then the 10th kill, the Japanese M4A3. Don't get me wrong, those are great tanks, those are good tanks, but they suffer horribly by compression. Now that is the first shot that didn't pen an enemy tank on the Centurion Mark I, which is an extremely strong 5.7 tank. I think, if I'm not wrong, the 17-pounder also has APDS. But he stays on the move. He doesn't really go into a head-on gunnery duel. And he gets the side, or the angled side of the Centurion Mark I, which just by chance or just by knowing it, gets a bit more forward. But then, yeah, he stands still, easy target, and then we can see how long the suspension normally would take to make him stand still. He bounces a shot of another Sherman, which he deletes them in return, and then he has the Centurion Mark I all for himself. And he takes his sweet time. He has done enough damage, and yeah, that's kill number 12. So he's thinking about, I got my fair share of kills, but then he spots here another Sherman, and again on the move, fresh out of the spawn, directly back to the garage. But, on this map, you cannot really say it's spawn camping, although if you look at the minimap where he is the only tank of his team that is, in the enemy's team's half of the map. The enemies are even in A, and so he goes actually back. And remember, this is a game about stupid amounts of luck and just where you just shake your head in disbelief. One of those moments is coming up now. Turret shot ring, more or less also on the move. On a Carnarvon. The Carnarvon, that is the perfect counter to a T-44. Why? Because it has trolley armor, and it also has a stabilized 20-pounder with a high rate of fire and APDS that can even ignore the front of the tank's hull, which I think only the German 128mm is capable of penning it when you go for this kind of battle rating. And then he and the rest of his team go into the cap, and there is an M56 Scorpion that is taking care of the Panther, and sadly STEVEinc can't do anything because he got tracked, probably by an artillery shell, but they are retaking their cap, and so he has joined up with his team. And aside from one lumbering slow heavy tank that is coming to their position slowly but surely, the team is in one place. Again, the reverse gear is so slow that he can make it to his advantage and practically fire on the move with pinpoint precision for his triple A's. And that's his last APCBC round, so he actually decides to get some shells back, and again, a few minutes later, he's on the move, and then he sees this Crusader AA Mark I, and just, again, more or less on the move, snapshots him, and then with 16 kills, continues his hide-and-seek journey with the enemy team. Again, a few more minutes later, his spider senses were tingling, and he kind of turned around. Because I think he heard some engine noises, and he's heading right for the T-20, and again, watch this, more or less also on the move. It's 17 kills. Will you believe that? That is crazy. And that in one tank that was also in a slight up tier. So that was just breathtaking. But he is kind of coming to an end of the match. And after 16, nearly 17 minutes of having a good time, he is now the second time in a cap, this time of the enemy team. And he joins again the rest of his team to cap it. And then, believe it or not, he gets attacked by one of the most unlikely planes, in this case a Spitfire from above. That Spitfire, he has actually bombed the Panther, he has actually shot down an F4U7, which is a really good plane, but apparently, seems like with the right ammo belt, the 20mm can go through the engine deck. And that's the first damage that he takes. The transmission, the gun breach, and also one of his crew members. But it doesn't matter because he just won the game and survived. And look at this post-battle results screenshot. Heavy Metal Hero, Survivor, and so many awards you barely can count them. And they make nearly 30,000 Syphon out of his 130,000 Syphon overall income and 10,500 RP reward, which is just a crazy result. And he was even not fully upgraded. So that was one hell of a result, and I hope you guys enjoyed this while downloading War Thunder, trying to achieve a result like this. And again, thanks STEVEinc for sending this in via the real replay file and also the post-battle results screenshot. The gameplay spoke for itself, so I hope we never meet each other on the battlefield, because with this amount of Russian bios like you have, I can't compete. So anyway, that's it for me today. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a like, give it a subscribe if you want to see more. And we'll see each other on the ways, in the skies, and on the battlefields of War Thunder.